Hello everyone, I'm David Wilson. Today, we're diving into a sci-fi creature feature called Monster of the Deep. Deep in the ocean, a massive creature stalks a fishing boat. Inside, a woman is taking a shower, somehow with her makeup perfectly intact. Suddenly, the giant monster lashes out with its tentacles, tearing through the crew and ripping the boat apart, sending people flying through the air like insects. The creature destroys the shower room, forcing the woman to bolt outside as the rest of the crew is torn to pieces. As the vessel begins to sink, the woman jumps overboard in her apparently indestructible bathrobe. However, she's quickly swallowed whole by the monster like a giant dumpling, as the entire ship vanishes into the depths. 3 years after the tragedy, a black box resurfaces near another shipping vessel. The sailors, acting like total simpletons, quickly haul the object onto the deck, oblivious to the danger inside. Meanwhile, a young boy named June spots the find and runs to tell his sister, Belle, who is busy inventorying a precious gem. They rush over to the crew, only to find the sailors attempting to eat a small octopus-like creature as if it were a giant piece of sushi. Just before one man can take a bite, the creature lunges into his mouth, causing him to collapse and choke. The crew tries to help, but tentacles suddenly burst from the victim's mouth, sending everyone into a panic. Belle tries to rescue the man by pulling at the tentacles, but she ends up becoming the next victim. She collapses to the deck from the creature's terrible French kiss as the monster begins altering her DNA. Meanwhile, in a nearby city, our main character, Zang, is struggling to pay the bills at his food stand. His brother-in-law, Lao, believes their luck is about to change. Over a meal at a sushi restaurant, where Zang is more focused on feeding his daughter, Lao reveals a high-paying job that requires Zang's extensive military background. Zang suspects the job might be illegal, but their conversation is cut short when his daughter begins coughing, reminding them of her serious illness. With no other choice, the two rush to a nearby hospital. Zang begins having flashbacks of his wife and the time they raced to the emergency room not long ago. Back then, they were fighting about their finances, a distraction that caused Zang to crash into an oncoming truck, ultimately leading to his wife's death. Haunted by the memory, Zang realizes he can't lose his daughter too, leaving him no choice but to accept Lao's job offer. Meanwhile, back on the boat with the octopus monster, June has managed to survive along with the captain. Driven by rage over his lost crew, the captain heads to the kitchen to confront the beast. He finds the monster and attacks immediately, slicing off one of its tentacles. However, before he can finish it off, the creature lunges and grabs his arm, completely overpowering him and dragging him across the floor. Realizing he's outmatched, the captain tries to flee but is snatched up again. Seeing June watching from behind a door, the captain screams for the boy to run, sacrificing himself to give June a chance to escape. Elsewhere on the ship, Belle regains consciousness and stumbles toward a cargo container to hide inside a safe. She is clearly suffering from the after effects of her encounter with the creature. To her horror, she realizes something is very wrong. The monster left something behind inside her, and it's waiting for her to emerge. On the other side of the water, Zang heads toward the job site, accompanied by a group of Lao's hired mercenaries. He quickly realizes something is wrong when he spots crates of weapons on the boat. Furious, Zang realizes Lao is planning a robbery and refuses to take part. Lao reveals they are targeting the expensive gem on Belle's boat and reminds Zang that this is the only way to afford his daughter's surgery, forcing Zang into a silent, reluctant submission. Soon, they enter a patch of mysterious fog and reach their target. When the crew fails to respond to radio calls, the group boards the ship heavily armed, ready to take the vessel by force. The team is surprised to find the vessel seemingly abandoned. They eventually make their way inside, moving cautiously through the hallways, only to be shocked by large amounts of blood on the floor, a clear sign of recent violence. What they don't realize is that the tentacle monster is already aware of their presence. It stalks the mercenary guards outside, scaring one man so badly he falls onto his back. His partner remains oblivious to the danger until he notices his friend has mysteriously vanished. He goes to investigate, only to discover in horror that they are being hunted by a massive tentacle. The man runs for his life, but the creature quickly snatches him up and strangles him to death. Meanwhile, Lao decides to split up from Zang to cover more ground. At the same time, Belle emerges from the cargo container just as she hears the mercenaries approaching. She tries to hide, but they quickly discover her and hold her at gunpoint, demanding the location of the precious stone. With no other choice, she leads them back toward the cargo area, but claims she needs a keycard from the navigation room to unlock the gates. The mercenaries escort her to the second floor and begin tearing the room apart, searching every cabinet for the card. When they find nothing, they realize Belle has been lying and threaten her again. Their confrontation is interrupted by a loud noise coming from a metal container on the floor. Lao opens it to find Belle's younger brother, June, who has also managed to survive. The mercenaries immediately seize the boy, using him as a bargaining chip to force Bell to help them steal the gem. On the other side, Zang and his team arrive in the ship's kitchen, where they find more of the mysterious sticky liquid. Before they can investigate further, their boss orders them back to the navigation room immediately. However, as they prepare to leave, a massive tooth-filled tentacle drops from the ceiling and snatches one of their teammates. The crew opens fire, but the monster retreats into the air vents, using them to flank the humans. Luckily, Zang uses a blowtorch to repel the creature, giving everyone a chance to run. But the monster is one step ahead, waiting for them on the other side of the room. The team tries to back away slowly, hoping to remain undetected, but the creature is determined, probing every corner of the room with its tentacles. The tension becomes too much. The crew panics, alerting the monster and sparking a desperate sprint for the exit. One of the men, clearly lacking cardio, falls behind and begs for help, only to be dragged away by the creature like a human hamburger. His sacrifice allows the others to escape and slam the door just in time. The survivors regroup with the rest of the team and recount the horror they just witnessed. Lau is skeptical of their wild story, even after Bell confirms the monster's existence. Their argument is cut short by a loud crashing sound at the windows. To their horror, they see tentacles surrounding the room from all sides. The gigantic octopus is perched directly above them. Before they can retreat, a tentacle crashes through the glass and begins a horrific slaughter. The crew opens fire, desperately trying to hold the monster back, but the bullets hardly graze the massive creature. Just as things look hopeless, Zang grabs a flare gun and fires it directly into the monster's mouth, giving the survivors a window to bolt. As they scramble down the stairs, June accidentally slips through the metal floor plating, and the tentacle monster suddenly reappears. Surprisingly, the creature refuses to attack Belle, the infected woman. Sensing an opening, Zang grabs an axe and charges the beast, hacking at it furiously until it retreats. This allows the group to regroup and catch up with the escaping mercenaries. They eventually make it to the cargo area, but instead of fleeing to safety, Lau demands that Bell open the safe. He refuses to leave empty-handed. Zang tries to intervene, but the mercenaries hold him at gunpoint, forcing Bell to lead them to the gem. She has no choice but to comply, and they finally retrieve the prize. Their celebration is short-lived. They turn around to find a horrifying sight. Several crew members kneeling on the ground with foreign objects protruding from their mouths. It turns out the octopus has been using the humans as hosts for its offspring. Belle realizes with horror that she is likely pregnant as well after her encounter with the creature. Before they can move, the monster ambushes Lau from behind. The team opens fire, but the bullets only serve to further enrage the beast. The massive sea monster slams Lau against the wall, causing him to drop the gem. The mercenaries are forced to retreat, barely making it out the door. Zang and his companions sprint into a cargo container for cover, realizing the monster has no intention of letting them leave. While they hide, Belle uses her own clothing to help bandage Zang's injuries. This causes Belle to flirt with Zang, but he quickly shuts it down, mentioning he already has a daughter and definitely isn't looking to pay any more child support. Their conversation is cut short by a radio call from Lau. He promises a rescue but orders Zang to retrieve the diamond first. The mercenaries charge out from hiding, opening fire to distract the monster. This gives Zang just enough time to snatch the gem and bolt. Unfortunately, the distraction cost another survivor their life as the crew struggles to hold the beast back. Seeing an opening, Zang grabs a gas canister and hurls it at the massive octopus. Lau fires a well-placed shot, triggering a massive explosion that finally gives the group a chance to run. They retreat into another room and lock the door, only to realize the other exit is bolted shut. To make matters worse, Belle senses the monster's presence as it begins pounding furiously on the door. Desperate, Zang finds an escape route through the ceiling vents and urges the others to climb up while he holds the door. The survivors scramble into the narrow crawl space, and Belle is relieved to see Zang make it in behind them. However, the relief is short-lived. The giant tentacle finally smashes through the metal door and begins hunting them through the vents. The group tries to move silently, but the monster suddenly bursts through the ductwork, causing the mercenaries to flee like cowards. In the chaos, the crawl space collapses, separating Belle and her brother from Zang and completely blocking the entrance. With no other choice, Zang is forced to head the other way. He eventually catches up to the other men as they rush toward the deck, though he clearly hesitates, unwilling to leave his friends behind. The mercenaries make it back to their own boat, and Lau decides they need to get out of there immediately. Zang refuses to go, convinced his friends are still alive. He rushes back toward the transport vessel, realizing that Lau has decided to abandon him after all. However, Lau doesn't realize his own mercenary friends are planning to betray him and steal the diamond. They pull their weapons and strike him across the head, snatching the gem. Refusing to give up, Lau retaliates, reclaiming the diamond and bolting outside, but the mercenaries pursue him relentlessly. Lau manages to stab one attacker in the chest and kick him away, only to be confronted by a second mercenary who stabs him with a knife. In a final burst of strength, Lau knocks the man down and strangles him to death. Despite defeating the traitors, Lau collapses from his wounds and dies alongside his greedy companions. Meanwhile, Belle and her brother finally escape the ventilation system. Belle begins to feel even worse as her body clearly continues to mutate. In a chilling moment, she grabs a kitchen knife and slowly approaches her brother like a zombie. But it turns out she was only trying to craft a weapon to protect them. The creature is closing in on their location, but Zang finds them just in time, and Belle embraces him in relief. Before they flee, they discover the black box that surfaced with the monster. Zang plays the video inside to uncover the truth. The giant octopus was a failed experiment from a secret lab. The scientists lost control, meaning there are many more of these creatures lurking in the ocean. Realizing they need to move now, the group desperately makes their way to the deck. The monster quickly locates them, swatting Zang aside like a rag doll. Belle rushes forward and stabs the creature furiously before sprinting toward the lifeboats. Surprisingly, instead of escaping with them, Zang lowers the boat into the water and tells Belle to take care of his daughter. He stays behind, planning to take on the monster all by himself. Zang begins luring the creature away from his friends, with its tentacles hot on his heels. The pursuit eventually forces the giant octopus to burst out from the ship's interior. Zang scrambles to dodge its massive limbs, barely avoiding being crushed like a human pancake. He makes a desperate leap off the boat just as the sea creature tries to swallow him whole, plunging into the ocean instead. The monster quickly drops into the water after him. Zang realizes his friends are still in danger when he sees the octopus turning back toward the lifeboat. To draw its attention, he taunts the beast, firing his gun directly at its head and successfully baits the creature into charging him. What the monster doesn't realize is that Zang is planning a final sacrifice. He dives under the surface, swimming straight toward the mutated creature's open maw with a bundle of dynamite. Zang arms the explosives just as he enters the monster's gigantic jaws, triggering a massive explosion that obliterates the sea creature into a million pieces. With the threat gone, the survivors finally drift away, but Jun soon realizes something is very wrong with his sister. He watches in horror as Belle transforms into something monstrous right before his eyes. So, what do you guys think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.